Hello and welcome to this Adobe Express lesson all about myths and legends. And today we're going to create a myths movie flyer using Adobe Express. So to start with, I'm actually going to find a template of a movie poster and I'm going to remix it and turn it into a flyer. So I'm going to go to the search at the top here and I'm just going to type in movie poster. And we can see we get lots of results here. If we go to templates, I like this first result. So I'm going to select this one and I'm going to press where it says customize template. So this is a really good starting point for our flyer, but the first thing we're going to need to do is edit some of the details so it's all about the myth and legend that you've chosen or that you're learning about. So for this example, we're going to use the Welsh myth of young Merlin and the two dragons. So I'm going to start by coming up with a unique name for my myth movie, and I'm going to put who directed it, and then at the bottom, I'm going to put some characters that appear in that myth or legend. So now I want to change some of these images so that they are about the myth or legend that I'm learning about. So I'm just going to select these images and press delete, and I'll do the same for this aircraft. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use generative AI to create an image or a picture to go on my movie flyer. So I've read the story of the two dragons and I've chosen a scene from it, and I'm going to recreate that scene using generative AI. So to start with, I'm just going to go to the bottom here where it says generative AI. And I'm going to press here where it says generate image, and I'm going to select as my image size, I'm going to select a square, and in the top here in the prompt box, I'm just going to write what I would like to see in my image. So here we go, here's our fantastic image from this story of the red dragon and the white dragon battling it out with young Merlin watching on. What I'm just going to do is select this image, and actually I'm going to change the corner roundness. So I'm just going to round off the corners a bit just so it looks a bit smoother. I think that looks pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is think about a background. So I'm going to go to elements on the left. I choose elements and then backgrounds. And I'm going to search for something that I think would be appropriate for this story. So I might go for mountains. And I'm just going to click through until I find one that I think suits this particular story. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Now what I might also do, as the story is about two dragons battling, the red dragon and the white dragon, I might just change the color of some of this text. So I might make that sort of red. Maybe I'll make this tea red as well. There we go. Okay, so I think this is looking pretty good. Now what I want to do is design the back of my flyer. So I'm going to duplicate this page and then I'm going to edit that so I have the front of my flyer and the back of my flyer. So I'm just going to press the three dots here and I'm just going to duplicate this page. And now what I'm going to do is just go and delete each element, and I'm just going to start from just the same background as I've got on the front page. So I've read the story. What I need to do now is summarize the story into a synopsis. So this is like a short blurb that you'd have at the back of your flyer that sums up the main points of the film. So I'm going to go to text, add your text, and then here I'm actually going to write a synopsis of the film or a short summary of the film. So there we are, there's my short synopsis or blurb that I have at the back of my flyer. Now I'm going to add a few more elements just to make this page look more appealing. So there we go, I just added a quote from a made-up film magazine that says it's an epic legend at the heart of Wales's history. Now I want to add some images, so I might add another generative AI image of maybe a different scene from the film or from the myth. And at the bottom I might add a coming soon and a QR code that the person can scan and visit that film's website. So there we go, there is our mythical movie flyer. There's the front of our flyer showing us about the film, and on the back it has a short synopsis or blurb all about what happens in this mythical movie. So now it's your turn to take your own myth and legend and create your own movie flyer.